Welcome to the Necronama.com, where we're spending all of October looking at 31 episodes of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Today, we're looking at Treehouse 21 from November 7th, 2010. I am James Sabata.
I'm Don Guillory.
I'm Thomas Brungardt.
Treehouse of Horror 21, best cold open ever. Ever.
How did we know you would like this?
I don't care if you didn't see it or not, James. It doesn't matter. This is the best. No, I actually didn't give a shit. I thought it was cute. But
this is the most Office I've ever watched.
Well, you know, you're a Parks and Rec fan, so I expect that. It was a cool cold open with of course classic monsters and the witch. And I think Frankenstein's monster makes a comment about using the TiVo and all this other bullshit. But basically he's like, oh, I like this show. It's actually what it's like for me at work. Which was the same thing that people were saying when The Office was on television. They wanted to watch it because that's what people they worked with were like. And I watched it and I immediately thought, I don't want to work with any of you motherfuckers if that's the type of shit that goes on where you work.
Holy shit, this is why I don't like it. You just summed it up for me. Like, why do I want to come home and spend more time engaging with these fucks that I hate?
Well, no.
In case I've ever worked with you and you're listening to the show, thanks for supporting us.
I love The Office, but I'll be honest. If I were working in that environment, I would have probably gotten into a couple of fights. Yeah. But anyway.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm one of the fucks you used to work with.
I tried to go past
Thanks
that
for supporting the show.
Hey, wait a minute. I liked that Frank fucked up the remote because I liked that the DVR was basically the new Accelerate.
Yes.
But yeah, this is like the most effective intro they've done in a while. I feel like it was really cool, especially as an Office fan. I enjoyed it.
All right, so we got 3 parts of this episode to go through. Maybe by episode 22, I won't keep calling sketches episodes.
That's never going to end. We're going to keep doing that forever.
Yeah,
just deal with it, people.
Really, we're doing 93 episodes, right? That's how it works. Oh, no. Yeah. Math. Anyway, who's doing number one?
Who put this?
I'll do number one.
At the Jello.
So, War and Pieces. Basically, Bart and Milhouse are worried about the effects of excessive video game violence. Well, Marge is, sorry. Let's restart, shall we? So, Marge is worried about the effects of excessive video violence, so Bart and Milhouse are basically forced to play a bunch of classic board games. Of course, they have to play it in the attic, because where else would you play it? That's where they're kept, because nobody plays them, according to The Simpsons. They discover one called Satan's Path, and it's got to be good if Satan put his name on it. I love that line. Upon playing it, the game just basically comes to life, and weird shit starts happening, and all the games overtake Springfield, and all hell breaks loose.
There are several parts of this part of the episode I like, and it has to deal with the games that they're using, not just the names that they use for the games, because they can't or just choose not to use the real ones. But the idea of the mouse catch game being involved, but the mouse trap game being involved. Because in the 80s or even the early 90s, when you would play that game, or at least try to get people to play the game, your brothers and sisters, friends, family, whatever, the fucking thing never worked. The mousetrap never worked. The commercial always made it look like, oh, if you get to here and I got the mouse, and the thing just, ticks down and captures the mouse, and you win the game or gain points or whatever it was. Can't remember because the mousetrap never worked. And I love that they even throw that into this, where they need to end the game by having the mousetrap come down and it gets stuck. This thing never works.
I didn't have Mousetrap, but everyone I've ever met that had it, like, just severely hates it.
Yes. I hate that and Operation.
Operation's evil.
Well, which of you brought up the game that you didn't have. Which of these did you have, and which would have been your favorite ones to play? And please don't say Monopoly.
When you say play it like correctly, or like would I want it to come to life so I could play it?
No. I mean, play it correctly as far as the way it is, but I mean, we can go there as far as if it came to life. Or
well, I mean, I'm guessing my answer would be the same. So, I loved Clue. Clue is still one of my favorite games, and I don't even know why. Like, I can't explain what's great about it. I still just absolutely love it.
Thomas, what about you?
Fuck Chutes and Ladders.
My favorite board game is Scrabble. I think I still play that one more often than not. This specific sketch, well, I didn't really care for it. It reminded me of another Simpsons joke that's kind of a throwaway joke where Homer and Bart are playing a board game, and it's a combination of Scrabble and Battleship. And then Bart or Homer just says, "You sunk my Scrabble ship." And then Lisa's like, this game doesn't make any sense. But the line, "You sunk my Scrabble ship," is something I say whenever I'm playing any board game. It doesn't matter what board game it is. At some point in the night, I will say, "You sunk my Scrabble ship." And everybody will be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I don't know. Are there any adult... Do you guys play any of those adult board games? Like Catan or...
I thought you were talking about the...
Sexbot?
Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, yeah, that too. That qualifies.
Yeah, my wife is a big time board game player, so there's always, anytime people are here, which hasn't happened much during COVID, but any other time, it's like board game night every time they're here, and that's all they do. I like Ticket to Ride.
I haven't played that one. I liked I liked Pandemic, but I don't ever want to play it again.
We're playing it in real life. That's the one that came to life from. We're
not playing it in real life because don't you have to work together in Pandemic?
We're playing, but we're carrying the weight of other people.
Okay, maybe we are playing it then.
I think I would go with Candyland.
Really?
For the sweets?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because the other ones, I look at it as I don't know how much fun it would be to deal with Monopoly in real life.
Okay, I got one. I got one that I want to come alive.
Okay.
But I want to be at a safe distance to watch it. Hungry, Hungry Hippos. I want to see that shit. Especially the way my daughter plays, where she puts one of her dolls in the middle and then makes all the hippos eat them. That would be great.
Well, I wouldn't want to play Hangman because of how it ended in this.
Well, but that's Milhouse being stupid and picking 3. I mean, what's his deal?
I like the way Milhouse died the first time, like Jack in Titanic.
Hey, but here's what's different is that Bart actually offered space, unlike Rose.
That's true.
Bart's just a giving individual.
He's a good guy. He means well.
It's probably Hugo. I do like that the Hangman puzzle is Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, because
we all imagined it anyway when we played it, right?
Well, yeah. But yeah, his guess was Threve, and he bet $11 billion. All right, let's move on.
All right. So the next one is Master and Cadaver. I mean, it's a cute name, but it doesn't fit with the parody that they're going off of, which is a Nicole Kidman Dead Calm. I think it was 91 when it came out. But the premise is, or at least the story is, that Homer and Marge are on a second honeymoon getaway on a yacht. There's this guy who's in a boat that pulls up to them. They help him get onto the ship, and he tells them this story about how he escaped, and the guy on his ship was poisoning people, and he had to get away, but he got knocked out with a bottle of low sodium soy sauce. which is interesting in itself. So Marge and Homer don't trust him and kill him, or at least they think they kill him. And then they find the other ship, go to that ship that he was on, and realize that they were wrong. And then, of course, Homer starts to kill everything and everyone because he doesn't want any witnesses to what had taken place. Then Marge eats a piece of poison pie, which, led this entire story off as far as their interaction with this guy. Kills herself, and we find ourselves in Maggie's bathtub, imagining all of this having taken place.
It's a weird payoff, isn't it?
It is. I mean, even with the tie-in to Clockwork Orange.
I don't understand what that's about at all. Like, that was fucking weird to me, but
yes,
whatever.
Well, this one, I mean, you have the same type of fear that's built off of in Deadcom, where, there's this guy that's on the ship with him, and Nicole Kidman's warning her husband that something's not right with the guy, and then, murder ensues and all this stuff, right? But I like that with this piece, they have that carryover from the source material, and it's about not trusting that person that's there because of harm that they might bring to you. So that idea that you're alone and, what type of danger can befall you.
I mean, it's nice that they're finally using using some source material for something.
Well, what's also interesting about this episode, or I'm sorry, about this piece of this episode, is the idea that Homer, and it's the same thing as within the movie, the husband is imagining these strange things that the guy is possibly doing with his wife or his fiance or whatever Nicole Kidman's character was. And you have that same thing where she's, fawning over his abs and his body and whatever. So Homer goes on this walk, which just takes him around the ship or around the yacht over and over again. And then because his sunglasses are broken, he only sees one half of what's going on, or at least most of what's going on. And he assumes that, this guy is playing with Marge's boobs right in front of him when he's really trying to, tune the radio. Which
I was amazed at that joke.
I'm just surprised she didn't, at least there wasn't a quote unquote tune in Tokyo joke that was made. Yeah, because that was one of the pranks that was, I guess it was 70s and 80s when people would try that one. But no, I mean, I wrote down maritime law when this happened, or when I was watching this, because I question if you kill somebody on a boat because you fear that there's some danger that they have towards you, or posing some danger towards you, and you kill them, what are the repercussions? Because it's not as though, I mean, this ultimately turns out to be in Maggie's mind, but if you kill somebody on a boat that you're concerned that they may be killing or try to kill you, does the murder actually exist if it's in international waters?
Good Lord.
I mean, Marge is definitely worried about it. Homer doesn't give a shit.
I'm with Homer.
Well, yeah, I'm not letting that guy on my boat in the first place, so.
Especially now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Thomas, because I would just say, keep paddling that way. Keep going. You'll make it. Or if the possibility exists, here's a rope. We'll pull you ashore with us, but you're not getting on the fucking boat.
I don't know that I would even go that far. I would probably just ignore them completely. That would just like like people do with people in Walmart parking lots asking you for money. That's how it would be for me. I'd just be like, I don't see anybody else in the water here. So, yeah.
Sorry, man. All out of boats. I don't have any boats on me. I'm sorry. I'll get you next time.
Now I'm picturing you screaming over, you remember that scene in Titanic?
I didn't like this one, and I was mostly disappointed. I was mostly disappointed because it wasn't a Master and Commander spoof. Because that's what I expected when it said Master and Cadaver. I was like, oh, it's a Russell Crowe bit, and it wasn't, and I was bummed. And then the Clockwork Orange thing with Maggie was stupid.
Yeah.
And speaking of stupid, should I talk about Act 3?
Yes.
I actually like Act 3. It's called TWEENLIGHT. It's a spoof of Twilight, and I'll tell you why I like it. Because one, Flanders is dead. But also because, as we've talked about before in previous episodes, the writers not knowing the source material, they really knew the source material for this one. Like, it's pretty accurate to the books. And for those of you who don't know, TWEENLIGHT is a spoof of 50 Shades of Grey, which is erotic fan fiction of Twilight. And Twilight's a vampire story about teenagers who they fall in love. One's a werewolf, one's a vampire. And I love the way they did it in this. Having an outside person be the Edward character, not somebody that we already know. So you don't have any association with this. Like, he's a new person to all of us. So you're kind of drawn in by that. And then to make Milhouse the werewolf, who's just a teacup poodle, like, that's funny. And then the story really follows the Twilight story up until the point where everybody realizes that Lisa's only 8 years old and she can't stay 8 forever. And then Homer becomes a vampire, and he becomes a very fat bat who can't fly, and he falls to his death, and Milhouse comes and scoops him up. And yeah, I thought it was fun. As somebody who enjoys how bad Twilight can be, I enjoyed how bad this sketch was trying to be Twilight. What did you guys think?
I liked when they went to the Dracula, or sorry, the vampire part of town, and you got to see all the different versions.
Yeah, that was great.
And Dracula gets pissed off at the Count, and I think he makes some Marge makes some comment about, like, go back to your country, or which was very surprising that Marge would be that intolerant.
Damn it, Marge. Overall, this one works for me. I don't really know anything about Twilight, so I didn't know that it was true to the source material in any way other than I know that there's vampires and werewolves. And so Milhouse turning into a poodle was funny to me. I don't know, is Jacob's dad, or not Jacob's dad, Edward, see I even fucked up that. Is Edward's dad in the films, in the book, or not? Like, was that just added for this?
Yeah, so Edward's dad isn't his actual dad. It's an adoptive family. He's part of a group of kind of wayward vampires who have decided to assimilate into the human world. So while his dad is not biological, he treats him as such. So that was accurate in this sketch, where he is doing what his dad says, even though Edward himself in the books or in the movies is like 150 years old or something like that.
I liked that joke that Daniel Radcliffe hits, where he's like, "Dad, I'm 450 years old." Like, that was a nice
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I just found it funny that you had the guy who was Harry Potter playing the parody character of another franchise.
Well, but it's great because the guy that plays Edward was in Harry Potter. So, I mean, it becomes this very weird thing.
Yeah.
It's all canon. It's all part of the same universe.
Well, that's what he gets for being a Hufflepuff.
I still don't know what that means, guys.
Be glad.
I mean, it is kind of depressing that I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters yet. I've seen every Twilight movie.
That's why we love you. Somebody has to bring a different point of view to this show. Me and Don always agree, don't we, Don?
Yeah.
See?
Sometimes I feel like I'm only talking to one other person. Twilight was fun because I enjoyed going to see the movies, and I would always go to the midnight premiere.
Oh, just I miss midnight premieres.
Just for like the people watching. And this is before they started releasing things on like Thursdays at 4 p.m. This was like Friday evening, 12:01 a.m. shows. And it was me and a couple friends, and then just like a sea of teenagers like actively enjoying Twilight. It was some of the most fun cinema going experiences I've ever had.
Was one of your friends Matthew McConaughey?
It was not.
This concludes another episode of the Necronama.com with James Sabata, Don Guillory, and Thomas Sexbot Brungardt.